What is going on, guys? Your boy Random Guy Kev here, and I'm here with Kaber. And we're doing another video.
That you're gonna hate, that
Yay!
everyone's gonna hate, and they're gonna get in our DMs, be like, we're like,
Yeah,
whatever.
it happens. It is what it is. So what we're doing, we're just gonna talk about we were gonna do top five. We got lazy. We're doing top three for each league: SpeedQB, CSL, NSL. We thought about the other leagues, but we kind of don't know who plays in those other leagues. So it is what it is. We're gonna leave it as is. Um, so this is kind of like a fantasy top three for this year. And probably by the end of the year, we'll do our top five again for all the leagues
Da, da, da,
combined.
da.
Combined, not individually, all of them. Based off who you
This is hard to think of.
based off who you competed against and what your bracket was like and things of that nature. And being that a lot of teams don't travel because the U.S. is expensive at most times, so they tend to play against the same people that they normally play with. It's like, but we're hoping that coming this season, everybody is traveling at least once or twice, playing at a different field, trying a different league, trying something new, trying something different. Hopefully, let's hope. I know money's tight, but at the same time, you guys wanted competitive leagues and you got a bunch of them. So, I mean, you kind of got to make the effort. So we're going to start off with SpeedQB. SpeedQB is kind of doing something a little bit different with their league stuff. Like right now they have the HTK Winter Series going on.
Cool.
So yes, that. But we're going to kind of base it off of how last year's setup was. Their 5v5s and their 4v4s. So we're going to do top three for the 5v5s and top three for the 4v4s. For me personally, I'm going to say the first two teams that took first and second are just going to come back and take first and second. It's probably going to alternate, whatever. And for the 5v5, I'm going to say Murder. Second place, so for the second spot, I'm going to say SYG. And the third spot, I'm going to say Elite. I say Elite because they put in a lot of work last year, and I think they're going to push harder to put in a lot of work this year. SYG and Murder came in first and second, respectfully, in the 5v5. So I think they're essentially going to want to, champions always want to defend their title from the previous year. And the people that won second always want to be like, fuck it, I want to win first this time. And they always tend to come back and be like, all right, I'm going to win second and go from there. How about you? What are your top three for the 5v5?
5v5 SpeedQB. Are we doing matches or placement?
Placement.
Oh. You take another one examples.
I'll keep talking. I do have some honorable mentions for the 5v5 that I think will they'll probably take a top spot. They'll be up there. So HSA, Slaughter Gang, Obey, ATBH, and DVS. I want to put them in the honorable mention for the 5v5 because if the 5v5 is taking place, the 5v5 championship taking place at Tax City again, we know some teams that won't be there. So it'll be that specific people that I'm gonna. Yeah, that's it. I can go into my top three for 4v4 if you want me to.
That's so many numbers.
So top three for 4v4 for me: Marshmallow, because they won the past 4v4. Murder's definitely gonna come back and want to win that one. And I'm gonna do HSA because HSA seems like they've been involved in a lot of the league stuff, and they seem like they want to be on a hunt. They definitely want to be on a hunt for a title of some sort. And that's my top three for the 4v4. I have no honorable mentions for that one.
All right, so for 5v5, there's a couple ways you can look at it. So I'm going to do like a West Coast and an East Coast because it's not really fair to say nationals because if you say nationals, you're really just saying West Coast.
West Coast.
So on the West Coast side, top three on the 5v5 SpeedQB format, Murder Inc. I don't think SYG is going to beat them, but I do think SYG is going to take silver again, because that match was good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to see Elite on the West Coast for the Nationals, but I do think it'll probably be ATBH in the 5v5 section.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the top 5 from the LA Nationals that we just did a few months ago, DBS took 4th, Elite took 3rd. I don't think we see Elite again on the West Coast. I'll go into that in a second. I don't know what DBS is going to do, because again, up here in NorCal, NSL kind of throws a monkey in the wrench with NSL sort of like messes things up with some teams, so you really don't know what you're going to get from the NorCal teams because of what's going on with NSL. So I think you see ATBH take basically the bronze on the West Coast side of the 5v5. On the East Coast side, I don't think Elite really gets challenged. On the East Coast for 5v5 SpeedQB, I think it's Elite, and I don't really think it's going to be I think they're going to have some wiggle room. I think they're going to dominate the regionals, and
Which regional?
Regionals.
Okay.
In the regions.
Okay.
I mean, they already took first in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And they only lost once. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who that was against.
I believe it was Obey.
Sure, but then Obey took 3rd. I think Elite, pending who competes in it.
Yeah.
I think Elite's gonna take the scene, unless Murder Inc. goes in there. If Murder Inc. goes in, depending on which regional it is, for the most part, I don't know how active Murder Inc. would be. If they're active, Murder Inc. dominates the East Coast side, depending on what they want to do. If not, Elite dominates, but those are your two big boy teams for next year. So it's just kind of silver and gold. Yeah, it just depends on who can get time off work and who feels like competing.
That's really it.
And who like, oh shit, there's a regional coming up, but then there's the NSL coming up too. So how do we want to manage that?
Yeah.
So pending like logistics, I think those two are just going to kind of flip flop. All right, I'm going to give a hot take for the East Coast. The East Coast is going to talk shit in my DMs on this one. I think because of the first video that you and I did, I think East Coast Energy is going to surprise a lot of dudes in the 5v5 SpeedQB scene next year. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. East Coast was, if I recall, touting a big game about the Rhode Island regionals. Is that correct?
That's word on the street. Correct.
The regional event that only 4 teams competed in.
In Rhode Island, correct.
In Rhode Island. Granted, they did win that. Granted, those other 3 teams aren't just showing up. But to be considered a big boy, that regional event, if you look at like the Tampa regionals and how many teams were in that and which teams were in that,
yeah,
I would argue that it means more to be second in the Tampa regionals than to win the Rhode Island regionals because of the competition involved.
Yes, I would agree with you. Cause again, like we initially said in the first video, we look at who you played against, what's not to discredit any of the teams that played, all the local teams that played, good players, but it's like you play them in your practice matches all the time, so you know how they play. And yes. I mean, are you really improving, or are you kind of okay? We're gonna dump on these guys and keep it moving, type thing. So yeah, for them, I would not concede it. Me personally, I would not consider that regional a win personally.
I'm gonna throw East Coast a bone on this one though.
Go ahead.
And I feel like people are basically shitting on East Coast Energy because they were one of the few teams that committed fully to the NSL. When you commit fully to one format, you're going to hurt your overall brand as a team, especially NSL being.
No.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. No, I don't think that's it.
All right.
I personally don't think that's it. From the teams I've talked to, it's good to talk a big game. It's great. Everybody talks a big game. Everybody. And everybody wants to be considered a professional athlete in some way or form. Again, there's an NSL complete Cinderella story. If you watch their gameplay from beginning to end, it's like, okay, they didn't really know it. And then when they got to the end, it's like, okay, they know their shit. And now they're playing, and they like to say, hey, we played overseas. Great. That's amazing. Love it for you guys. But again, going against U.S. teams is just like steel sharpens steel at any point in time. The way they play in Europe, the way we play here, two different styles.
Right.
Can we agree? That's two different styles.
Different rules.
Yeah, everything's different. You play those guys in Europe, great. But those people in Europe could come over here and do what they need to do, and they could probably be bottom of the barrel here in the U.S. against U.S. teams, same NSL rules. But if you bring back the NSL, the NSL opener that they had by you,
right,
and that European team won, I mean, I'm like, okay, you guys know the format, you guys know the rules, you guys know how to play this, while every time I watched the games, it looked like everybody was playing SpeedQB rules.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what they thought it was. It's like, no. You got to get points. You guys have to you guys have to read the rules. Get points. Points matter. You have to finish on time.
Get us back on track.
Yeah, like everybody's like, oh, TDM? Cool.
So I think because East Coast committed so much, I need to see them
branch out and see.
We have to. No one's literally no one except them cares about the Rhode Island regionals because there's only 4 teams there.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
you gotta see them do more.
Nothing wrong with those teams that were there.
No, not at all. But there was only 4.
But it was only 4. So it's like, and it was all local teams that you guys normally practice against, essentially. So it's like that looked like a practice match.
Now that I'm
from the outside looking in. Go ahead.
That I want to know, side thing. I want to know why the hell was there only 4 teams at a SpeedQB 5v5 regional?
Exactly. That's how I feel about it.
What the fuck happened there? Was there a promotion issue? Was there a communication issue? You're telling me a lot of those dudes a lot of these big teams are way closer to Rhode Island than Florida.
Yep.
So what the hell happened?
I feel like there was
was there something else going on that weekend?
I feel like within the same time frame. I think there was excuse me. I think there was an
CSL.
I think it was the NSL thing, and then that. But it was. I knew it was a conflict with something else. But again, I think it had to do with promotion. SpeedQB needs to. I get it. They work with the field and stuff, but at the same time, they need to.
You got to crank that schedule out.
Yeah, they have to push the schedule out immediately. Like you see how CSL, NSL, SXL, everybody's putting their schedule out last year. They put their schedule out last year for this year. We're still waiting for a SpeedQB schedule. The only schedule we have for SpeedQB is HTKs.
Yep.
So not a lot of people don't have time to budget and figure out, hey, which one do I want to go to? A lot of times they have a month to prep, month or 2, and it's like, bro, come on, let's figure it out, let's promote it. Hey, this is what's coming out, and a lot of people just always hit me up like, yo, Kev, you got the schedule for that? I'm like, bro, I don't have the schedule for anything.
Nope.
If it's not on my website, I don't have the schedule, and I've asked for a schedule. So I mean, hopefully that team, the SpeedQB team, figures it out and bumps it out. But again, for the regionals, it's nice to see teams travel from out of state to come to a regional and challenge themselves. I think that's dope. I feel like
Pending travel.
Yeah, pending travel. Yeah, but that's dope. But again, people are trying to try different things. So if you have linear focus on one thing, and again, people have their A teams, their B teams, their C teams. I don't give a fuck. You're all a team at the end of the day. If your D team shows up, they fucking suck. Your team as a whole sucks. Like you can't say, oh, our A team wasn't there, our C team went. We don't give a fuck. It is your team as a whole. You guys are a unit. Like that, it is what it is. That's how I feel about people. People do have those different teams, which is cool. And the murder guys have their East Coast, West Coast team. You guys are murder at the end of the day. Both teams, both sides of fire. You guys won what you won. You guys won what you won. That's it. Cool. Murder as a whole. You guys won this. That's it. And keep it moving. But I mean, every squad has an A squad, B squad, C squad, D squad, however many, and you just take it from there. But again, as a whole, you guys are this.
Yeah, that's my top 3.
So let's get into CSL. CSL top 3. For me personally, it's hard to say what the top 3 is because Keegan is doing a lot over there as far as like venturing out of the East Coast. So it's like, I'm going to keep it to a top 2, the 2 teams that made it first and second, which is Murder and Tier 6. Tier 6 has done a lot of work, and I've seen their growth from the beginning. Not really the beginning, but earlier on where they weren't up there, but now they are. It's like, okay, I hope that Tier 6 branches out as well, goes into NSL or SpeedQB, pick something and also do something different. But of course, Murder's doing everything. Them guys is doing everything. So it's solid. It's cool. The third team, again, I don't know who to pick because it's just like, damn, a lot of
coin toss.
Yeah, a lot of teams are interested. And then Keegan is also doing things at different locations. He is definitely branching out. You guys are going to be excited to see what he has coming. And I'm like, that's kind of how you should be doing it. You should be branching out as far as you can. If these leagues could get a schedule out a whole year in advance, that would be fire, or as early as possible, because again, it comes back down to scheduling, money, and all that. These leagues things are expensive. I see the pricing, I'm like, bro, y'all got it. Couldn't be me. Y'all got it.
Accurate to say that Keegan's the most underrated cat in the game right now?
I would have to say so. And that's why I consider CSL number 2 in the U.S. personally, because of how organized he is, how he
agree with that.
Listens to all the players and adjusts every season. Has captain meetings like, hey guys, what do you want to see? Hey, we're changing the rules. This is what we're doing, and he makes people feel appreciated and wanted in the league. Like he makes them feel like, yo, this is your league. You're an athlete here, bruh. Invest. And the way he's doing the schedule this time, it's like, hey, you have an actual, you pay this one fee, you have a set schedule, you play at these 2 fields, and then if you want to play at the other 2 fields, you don't have to pay because you paid for the whole season, and then boom, you're good. I feel like that's kind of how you should do it. And like you discuss it with the captains, like, hey, I'm gonna put you at this first event and this second event, and this other team, I'm gonna put you at this second event and this fourth event, and go from there. And I mean that gives teams times to stack funds and go from there, but for travel. But I mean, all in all, I think Keegan is doing very well with CSL. I think that's kind of the way I feel like a lot of teams from SpeedQB could look into CSL and be like, okay, I might want to play one of those and see how it goes. And then
rule set's fairly similar.
It's fairly similar. It's not that all these teams need to adapt anyway. Adapt and go to a different league, or play at least 2 leagues. Play at least 2 leagues this season, not just one. Don't commit to just one. Do 2 if you can. Hopefully you can do 2, but commit to 2 if you can.
Yeah.
Who are your 3 for CSL? I have no honorable mentions for that either, but yeah.
CSL for me up top is going to be Murder Inc. I think Murder Inc. basically wins anything they do, although fuck you, I'm going to give you a wild card at the end of this video.
Okay.
One thing to point out is even though Tier 6 did take first with a 19-9 record, take a look. If you hold
on. So
boy,
on the bracket they took on that player thing they took first because they went to more events and stuff. But ultimately, at the
Correct.
championship, they took second place.
Correct.
So they played more, which is cool. Yeah.
Which is kind of the distance. So when we're looking at rankings, that is one of the, I don't want to say upsetting. That's not right. One of the more what makes it harder is you'll see a team like Tier 6 who played, if I look at this record right, they played 28 games total or something like that with a 19-9 record. Then you go down to Murder Inc., 13-0. Then you look at Ace, 13-9. Look at Goons, 12-9. Look at East Coast, 10-6. The lower down the rankings you go, it's not that they got beat, it's that they just didn't compete that much.
Yeah.
So they by default go down. So it's hard to give out a ranking past like first and second place. Even that is kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
Because so many of these teams, there's so many different experiences you can have. Maybe you just do CSL once as a one-off.
Just to try it. And then you end up on that list. Yeah.
Murder Inc.'s a great example. Murder Inc. won SpeedQB. But on paper, I'm looking at their leaderboard, 13-0, under Tier 6. Yeah. So does that mean that Tier 6 could beat him in SpeedQB? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But on paper, that's what you would assume. You go, Murder Inc. took second place? Let's do math.
But remember that a lot of teams, they like to see records. They like to see these numbers. They like to see stats. A lot of those newer leagues, they don't do stats. SpeedQB doesn't do stats like this. And
no, you're correct.
They don't do stats. NSL does stats like this as well, where
they're confusing to read, but yes.
Yeah, they're confusing as hell to read. Once you figure it out, it's like, oh, okay. Shit. Yeah. So once you figure it out, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Your Euros and your leaders, get the fuck out of here.
I got it. But the thing is, players, again, back to the athlete feeling. Players want to feel like athletes. So if my team has this 13-0 record, shit, we fire out here. We good. Like we went to, and the thing is, you don't need to go to every one of those events. You just need to qualify for the championship.
Yeah.
You just need to qualify for the championship and you get money. And then you take it from there. Like, and that's why I said, like, I feel like teams can, if their focus is SpeedQB, let me dip into CSL, let me dip into NSL. Let me try one of the events, see if we understand it, see if we like it. Oh, if we do, cool. Let's see if we can make sure we qualify for the championship. Let's do one, see if we make sure we qualify, make it to the championship. You don't need to make it to every one of the events if you already qualify. And most times people drop out of the championship because they don't have enough money to make it there. So then it's like, all right, now we have open registration. Sign up. Cool. We're going to sign up now. We played one.
What other sport do we see that? Granted, there's a financial system and a foundation, granted. Mm-hmm. But imagine if basketball was like that. Or football was like that. And granted, there's a money thing, but
yeah, of course. And it's understandable why teams can't afford some of these leagues, and that's why they hyper focus on just one. Hey, we're going to use all our expenses for this. For again, your example again of ECE, them hyper focusing on NSL for the first year. Like, okay, cool. That's what we're going to focus on. And now that NSL's kind of has the West Coast and East Coast. So East Coast is at Extreme Airsoft. West Coast is at SCA. Now you have to focus on, okay, I have to make it to one of these locations. I don't have to make it to Tampa. I don't have to make it to Texas. I don't have to make it to Indiana. I have to make it to one of these locations to kind of rank up, I guess, and get somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the money thing is still, it does play.
It's a motherfucker.
Yeah. So now let's go into NSL, our top three. Top three, ECE, they're gonna, they won champions last year. They're definitely gonna try to hold it again. As I said before, I'm going 1-2 and keeping that. ECE, Elite, and the Tacos. as my
No shit.
tacos is my third. I feel like tacos is like they got a fire under them. They're like, we should have won this. We should have won this. Why didn't we win it? We coming for it. And I feel like tacos. Okay, damn. You know different than me.
Yes, but no. Same, but different.
Okay.
My top 3 on this one. Again, I still think Murder Inc. has the fucking Midas touch. Anything they do, they just win. Second and third for me is going to be either Elite or East Coast Energy.
Okay.
It's hard. If you look at it on paper, if I remember correctly, Elite beat them in Indiana. I have it in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
So January at Shot Zone, the very first event.
Yep.
Elite beat East Coast 19-12. Granted, you could caveat that and say no one knew fucking anything, and they were just almost everyone was swinging for the fences. Cool. Yep. Mm-hmm. February, CIA Elite beats East Coast 12-4, but in June in Rhode Island, East Coast beat Elite both times they faced them.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say they're even. You could say that I don't know. There's a lot that we need more data. However, the meat of my argument is that flip a fucking coin, and that's going to be your second and your third, and it's either going to be Elite or East Coast. Now, I don't think we are going to see a West Coast team in the NSL top 3 because I don't think, and now this is a travel thing, not for lack of skill, not because the teams are preferred. No. I don't know if we're going to see as many West Coast players and teams competing in as many NSL events as the East Coast. Because remember, there is only one NSL field on the West Coast, and that's in Sacramento.
Yeah, and that's where that's where the championship is taking place this year, though, the U.S. Championship. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it's going to be hard. I don't think we're gonna see it as much. I think it's gonna be Murder Inc. or it's gonna be an East Coast team because I think we're gonna see more East Coast teams and players getting better by being able to travel more, getting more experience, getting more reps and rounds in. And the West Coast guys are really just limited to. When I say West Coast, I mean 2 freaking teams, Tacos and the SEA home team, which is made
KSM?
of 3 different. That's the other thing is, so rumors are going everywhere, right? Everyone's in my fucking DM saying this, that, and the other. So we'll see what happens with the West Coast. I mean NorCal, with the NorCal teams when it comes time. We'll see what banner, what player's going to compete under. We'll see who's wearing what jersey. Are they going to go SCA again because SCA was just an alliance of 3 different teams? We'll see if they're going to want to. These teams are going to break off, do their own. We'll see. But it's if you're on the West Coast, it's really hard to get quality reps in for NSL because you're basically just playing the same teams over and over and over.
Yeah. I mean that's the same thing for the East Coast because again, the only teams that are really practice Murder East. They practice a lot. I know Murder West practices a lot. And
they flip flop back and forth.
Yeah, Murder East loves to come over. Murder West comes over. It's like they're like actively. So I see them like you said. I see what you're saying there. But also ECE, they're taking part in the NSL Pro League, which I have no idea what it's about. I didn't even do my research on it. Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. Which takes place over there. There's no Pro League over here. So I can't talk on Pro League because I have no understanding of it. So I need to ask someone about it because I saw it and I was like, okay, I need to figure it out. But at some point I'll figure it out.
Oh, look, something new has entered the chat.
Yeah, essentially. But ECE, they focus on NSL. Hopefully they choose another thing to focus on. But
We'll see.
we'll see. And
A
again, with
lot of options, and it's a lot of money.
a lot of these teams are, I hope, picking two things to focus on. Like, let's focus on this and let's focus on that. That would be cool. Because, there's SpeedQB, there's CSL, there's NSL. Then you have SXL, which is another format.
That's what Ethan's doing, right? From Shot Zone?
Correct.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then there's something else that I saw my thing is, I don't like talking about things until it goes past its first year. Because things that don't make it past its first or second year tend to don't last.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough.
And that's why, like, NSL's like, people like, oh, NSL's been around for a while in Europe, not in the US. US is a whole different crowd. We act different. We don't
drive
live
on the wrong side of the road.
We do things different over here. So again, hopefully they changed up things that they're doing. I think Fives is the the
European guy for NSL.
Yeah, Fives is the head guy.
As efficient as Germans get, by the way.
So
that boy is a human Mercedes.
So hopefully, when it comes to the NSL stuff, people have more understanding. I know a lot of teams that I've talked to, they're just like, yeah, we're just learning the NSL format, so we're gonna jump into that, and we're gonna jump into this. So it's like a lot of teams are picking two formats to roll into, budget their money for. But like again, if SpeedQB can throw out their dates, throw out the dates, because only thing people see is the HTK series. They don't know about anything else happening. So Roy needs to throw out dates so people can figure out what
the hell,
what's going on. Because Keegan's already threw out dates for CSL, and then he's already looking at 2025, so people can get their money right. But that's a whole different discussion, sponsorships and all that jazz. But good luck to all these. Yeah, good luck to all these teams. Go ahead. Who's your wild card?
All right, this is something I really think. I'm gonna just say it. KWA needs to get off their ass and do more fun shit with indoor mill speed, or John at N1 needs to take the reins on this, just like how they brought Jungle Ball together. Indoor mill speed, my God, that looks fun.
The IDMS stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, IDMS stuff looks cool as hell.
The thing I want to see the most, I want to see the Marshmallow Hunters versus Murder Inc. under the indoor mill speed rules at N1. If you don't think that'd be fun as hell to watch, you're out of your damn mind. And it's more different than it's nothing. You could go watch it on KWA Insider on YouTube right now. You can go. It is nothing like SpeedQB, NSL.
No, it's fun to watch. Yeah,
it's so fun.
It's different.
Just Airsoft Siege.
Yeah, and the thing about IDMS, I love watching it. But
indoor mill speed.
Yes, indoor mill speed. IDMS, I think that's really cool. I like watching it on the KWA page. And KWA is one of the few companies that is doing something as far as like content wise for things like this. IDMS is pretty solid. I think that even at Project N1, I feel like a lot of teams, just when Jungle Ball is happening, go sign up. Just go sign up for Jungle Ball. Jungle Ball is completely different. I wish he could take that everywhere and do that. But, I mean, he can't. So, it is what it is. So, and I think, one thing is teams need to travel. Travel at least once or twice as a unit to one of these other fields.
It's worth it.
Please, 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 please stop staying local, because local's fun. Don't get me wrong. Nothing is wrong with regionals, local stuff. But test yourself by going somewhere far and fucking with those players and see what happens. Especially when it comes to all these leagues. Figure it out. Some of these leagues, they're already mapped out for the year. So take your shit and go. See if you can budget for it. Hop on a train. Hold on. In the U.S., hey, European watchers, things are expensive in the U.S. It's not a 2-second $20 train ride for 6 hours.
I've also been told that those numbers aren't completely accurate.
Okay, but still, it's
And
expensive
he
as
said
fuck.
we're both retarded for thinking that's how cheap it is.
I mean, okay, it's a lot cheaper than the U.S. Let's just say that it's a lot cheaper than
Yeah,
the U.S.
for sure.
The like a flight for me from Jersey to Cali right now is $700. Normally I pay like 400, 300 round trip, but right now $700. I'm not paying that to go to Cali. You bugging? No, I'm good. I will wait. I will wait. I mean, I'll take a layover flight somewhere else to figure it out. But yeah, it's not easy to get coast to coast. And even me going to Florida, like Tampa or Indiana, it's just going to cost. I mean, I have a regular job. I can pay for it, but I choose not to because I travel a lot. It's common sense. Like, why would I pay $500 to $700 to travel in the U.S. when I could pay $300 to go overseas somewhere? Common sense. Math, math don't math. But yeah, I mean, Caber, you got any last words for these people?
Fuck these hoes.
Fuck these hoes. Guys, yeah, stay tuned. Me and Caber will be tuning in to hopefully a lot of these live streams. Me personally, I like to rewatch stuff after they've aired, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Take my notes and watch. Yes, from your favorite professional spectator. I know a lot of you don't like me. It's cool. I love it. Love it.
You're still watching.
You're still watching. You guys want to be professional athletes? Professional spectator. We'll catch you on the next one.